Welcome to Be Your Soul. I'm your host, Sky Bradshaw, and today we're exploring a powerful perspective that invites us to move forward even when fear is present. The understanding that choosing yourself, especially in moments of uncertainty, is what shapes the life you are becoming. This episode, Do It Anyway, Choosing Yourself Past the Fear, invites us to consider what it truly means to listen to your inner voice and take aligned action, even when doubt, discomfort, or hesitation arise. Fear may have something to say, but it does not get to decide what's next. Today, I'm joined by Abby Delk of Palmano Hair Salon, whose journey reflects the courage it takes to trust yourself, step into independence, and grow through experience. Together, we'll explore what it means to move through fear, to honor your authentic self, and to take steps, big or small, that lead you into greater alignment, confidence, and self-trust. But before we dive into the Unclouded Heart segment for spiritual messages of wisdom, let's invite ourselves to become present in this moment within our body, mind, and energy. Take a few moments to invite yourself to take some deep and cleansing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, invite your mind, body, and energy to relax, 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 relax. And as we move into this space of complete relaxation, we open up our energies to the ancestors, loved ones, and friends to come together today to heal and guide us and lift us to the highest version of ourselves in the light of the universe, so we may hear what we need to hear, know what we need to know, connect how we need to connect, and be what we need to be for our highest and best good, and the highest and best good of all involved, as we open up space to give and receive. Fear is false evidence appearing real. A teaching from Mary Burmeister, who brought Jinshin Jitsu energy harmonization to America. This is a quote I have been sitting in reflection with for this episode. The concept of how fear can limit us by shaping and controlling the narrative. Fear has a voice. It can feel loud, convincing, even urgent. It can sound like logic, like protection, like not yet or not now. And sometimes it does serve a purpose. It can slow us down, invite us to look more closely, and ask us to be present with what's in front of us. But fear is not always truth. There's another voice within us, a quieter, steadier, more grounded one. It doesn't rush. It doesn't push. It simply knows. And often that voice is asking us to move forward in ways that don't feel comfortable, but do feel aligned and deeply worth it. This is where the work begins, learning to understand the difference between your true self and your fear, the difference between authenticity and learned behavior, the difference between staying small and taking up the space you've earned. No matter how uncomfortable it feels, something within you is asking you to try, to trust, to begin. Doing it anyway is not about ignoring fear or pretending it isn't there. It's about recognizing that fear can sit in the room without being in charge. It's about allowing yourself to move with awareness, with care, and with courage, even when you don't have all the answers. Because often the clarity you're waiting for does not come before the step. It comes because of the step. And as you begin to move in that way, something shifts. You start to build trust with yourself. You start to recognize your own strength. You start to see that you are capable of navigating more than you once believed. Not perfectly, not all at once, but consistently. There's so much self-care in that. So the reflection becomes this: where in your life is fear shaping the narrative more than your truth? And what might open for you if you choose to trust yourself and do it anyway? And as you sit with that, remember this: your life is not asking you to be fearless. It's asking you to be honest. Honest about what you feel, honest about what you want, and honest about what is calling you forward. Every time you choose to listen to that quieter voice, every time you take a step in alignment with your truth, you expand your capacity to live more fully as yourself. You begin to rewrite the narrative, not one shaped by fear, but one rooted in trust, presence, and possibility. And in doing so, you don't just change a moment, you change the direction of your life.
The Be Your Soul Substack, created by Sky Bradshaw, is a space where the conversations from the podcast continue through thoughtful writings, spiritual insights, and soul-centered reflections. Many of the posts and offerings are freely available, so you can explore, read, and stay connected at your own pace. For those who wish to go deeper, paid subscribers receive early access to podcast episodes 2 days before release, unedited interview videos, and access to master-level classroom materials that expand on the teachings shared through the show. If the podcast supports you and you'd like to follow the ongoing reflections or help sustain the work behind it, this is a beautiful place to connect. Visit skybradshaw.substack.com to explore and subscribe.
Today, I'm joined by Abby Delk, owner of Palmano Salon Studio, a hairstylist of 14 years and small business owner in Greensboro, North Carolina. In July 2025, she stepped into independence, opening her own salon suite while also showing up as a wife and mom of 2 young boys. Her journey reflects the courage it takes to trust yourself, move through fear, and grow with intention. Abby brings honesty, self-awareness, and compassion to both her life and her work. And I'm grateful to have her here with us as we explore what it means to do hard things and choose yourself in alignment. Thank you so much for being here and joining me. I love you so much, and I'm so glad that you said yes to be on the show.
Yes, I was surprised. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. So we're talking about, fear happens. It's one of the things that every person goes through, the concept of fear, showing up and creeping up into different places. And in Jinshin Jitsu, Mary Burmeister says, fear is false evidence appearing real. So it's often this story that we tell ourselves that tries to keep us small or keep us compressed in different ways. And so as that fear shows up, how have you learned to recognize it without letting it take over and lead and controlling the choices and decisions that you make?
Yeah, I think it's always a work in progress. But a big thing that I've learned throughout my journey is realizing my anxiety is typically lying to me. It's not something that supports me. So where can I find love instead of letting fear lead me? Also asking myself, but what if I do succeed? What does that look like? How can I manifest that in my life and be as detailed as I can to see myself succeeding, see myself rising up to a higher vibration or doing great, because it is what can happen. The universe is conspiring in our favor. So just keeping that in the back of my head. And something that you have also brought up to me recently is is it my anxiety or is it my intuition? So I'm trying to figure out how that feels. And I don't know, it's a very new concept for me. So, there's a lot of unknown and a lot of fear that comes in being a human, owning your own business, being a mom, being a friend, anything. And I think that's part of our process as and the human experience is to grow and to heal through doing the hard stuff. And
Mhm.
it's very rewarding to see yourself when you succeed and see yourself move through the fearful things that are happening in your life.
And I know that, like, one of the things, fear tries to keep us small, but the truth is we can't have change without change. So if we did the same thing all the time and never approached that fear and questioned it, or never got in uncomfortable situations and, just kind of, play, rinse, repeat constantly, we wouldn't have the growth in our life that we're wanting as a human. We wouldn't be able to expand and go from, working in a collaborative to, like you did, in a, single, owning your own business. Like, you could have said, this is good enough, and just stayed in it and not let the fear take over. But you faced it and said, okay, well, yeah, it's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. And I think that that's one thing we can remind ourselves about fear. So when you were creating your own space and stepping into independence, what did it teach you about self-trust and personal power?
It was great. It's great to have a support system that believes in me, first of all. So that's just some of a foundation that pushed me here. I think you saying you can't have change without change, to me, it's scarier to stay the same. If you see me, I change my hair pretty much every time. Depending on how often you see me, my hair is a different color. So I enjoy that change. And it's taught me that I can trust myself when I feel like, the doom and gloom approaching or doubting myself. I have tons of people on my side that are lifting me up. And I'm very lucky and grateful to have that. I have a partner that's super supportive, that painted this whole wall by himself over here. And, that was just part of the support that pushed me to get over here and to make the changes. I've definitely learned, going from a group environment, when you're formulating color and you're mixing up things for your clients, you have other people to talk to. So when the stylist goes to the back room, yes, we're doing 5 things at the same time. We're eating, we're drinking, we're going to the bathroom, we're, formulating color all in the back room. Well, now it's all here. It's right here in front of everybody. And I lost that, being able to formulate color with my coworkers, but in return, now that's all on me, and I'm really great at it. I've always been great at it, but now I don't doubt myself because I don't have other people chattering, maybe if you mixed up this, it would look a different way. So that's something I've noticed recently that has really given me a lot of self-trust and personal power, just because I'm like, hey, you're really good. You're good. Stop doubting yourself. Look how awesome this hair is, because it's all on me. And it's really cool to take a second to pause and say, the little girl that used to want to be the hairdresser to the movie stars is now owning feet and doing people's hair for money. Like, it's great. And it's my job and I love it. So it's given me a lot of empowerment, I guess, per se. So I would be very proud of myself. I'm being very authentic here. I can design it the way I want. And that's a really cool thing to have clients and friends that support you, that have followed you around. That gives you a lot of power, I guess, per se. I don't know if power is the right word, but it gives you a lot of.
It uplifts you.
Yeah.
We all have moments where doubt or hesitation can cloud that clarity, though. And how would you give advice to people about staying the authentic self when those feelings arise? Or what helps you bring yourself back into alignment?
A lot of work. I have a lot of working parts. that help me get back into alignment. A personal practice is really important to me, and staying on my meditation and, clearing my energy when I'm around so many people. I think in the past, or I know in the past, in this career, anywhere where you're touching people, it's hard to not take on other people's energy. So sometimes when you're feeling the anxiety, you're feeling the fear, it's not even yours, it's somebody else's that you have obtained unknowingly. So being in the space where I'm learning more and more about clearing my own energy and grounding myself has been really helpful in staying grounded and reconnecting with myself. I also really bonded with the monks. I know that you were too. And I wrote on my mirror in here, today will be my peaceful day. I wrote it at home on my mirror. I wrote it in here on my mirror. Just the little things like that you can give yourself daily to just be like, okay, you're good. You're good, sis. We're doing this. It's really important. And it doesn't have to be this big, to do every day just to ground yourself. We're so stimulated all the time these days. And I think it's really important to just slow down and really listen to what is talking to you and the signs that you're getting. Now that I've kind of tapped into this space of feeling pretty empowered, I'm getting more signals from the universe. Everybody has their little things that they want to see. You pray, you ask for a sign, you whatever. But there are little things that show up for me constantly when I'm in this space, which is my little safe. I designed the whole thing. I made it, and it's my little happy place. And it doesn't have Legos and toys all over the floor. I can control. I can control how clean it is in here. And I don't know. It's just that's a cool part of it, having your own space, because I can come in here and disconnect and connect at the same time because my clients. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think what you're talking about is like that safe container that I think we all need, whether it's a room in our home, walking in the woods, going to, a studio, like, your safe space you created, like, as a part of energy hygiene, because everyone knows that's my soapbox for this year, like recognizing that, creating a safe container, a sacred container doesn't have to be like, oh, siphoning off this place only for meditation or only for yoga. It's really more like, this is the place I go into where I feel a sense of security.
Yep.
This is a place where I can be my authentic self. This is a place where I don't have to go through the layers of things in order to meet myself. I'm just here. When I step in, I center. And so, like, I think that your example being like this, where you work is where that is for you. But there's also, if you don't have that in your work, you can do it in your yard. You could do it in your home. I think that having that safe space, that sacred container is so valuable to just automatically step in and reset.
Yeah. I walk in here every day and I pretty much do the same little opening routine. And I have little neon signs in here. They're very, they're very fun. And they just bring the light. And everything that I've put in here is a little piece of me. And my clients can tell, they love to come hang out in here. And it's not just about my work, it's also about me. And I feel very aligned here.
You've created a beautiful space.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that advice you would give as far as like doing it anyway, choosing yourself beyond the fear? Like, is there any nuggets that you think we didn't get to that you want to share with people?
I think a few things that I've picked up on my journey that have helped me is life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. So the mentality that you're feeling nervous or anxious about something or fearful, everything is working in your favor. If you can switch your mindset into there is no wrong decision, there's just a decision. Let me make it, even if it's scary. And you don't know where you may be going. You might be moving into a salon suite, you might be starting a new job. I've other examples, but just knowing that everything is in your favor and just trust your intuition, be open to asking for, signs and help from the universe, because if you slow down, you will find them and see them. And it's a pretty cool thing. And it's also really important to know that we weren't really supposed to live this life alone. Like, it's not just me here in this space. I have so many people that help me be here. And we're not meant to be alone in this life. And we have support system out there that's vital to also doing it in the fear and moving through that. And it's okay to ask for help. I didn't want to paint this wall over here. I didn't want to pay X amount of dollars for wallpaper. So I asked for help. And that goes in relation to really anything. It's okay to talk to people. It's okay to ask for help. You don't have to do things on your own, because when you do it with more people, you get more ideas and more support and more encouragement that you may not have gotten by yourself, obviously, because,
There's a Haitian saying that is, many hands make the workload light.
Yes. Yes.
So I ask every guest 3 questions. And the first one is, what does it mean to be your soul?
I think be your soul is to be your authentic self, be your highest vibrational self that you can be in that moment. I think that changes throughout our lives as we heal and grow. Hopefully our soul becomes more enriched and knowledgeable. But I think the highest vibration is being your authentic self and authenticity. So that's what I would say.
I love that. So what's one self-care practice you do every day to help fuel your energy?
Move your body.
Mm-hmm.
Move your body. It's vital for me to get in some movement. And anybody, and when you're stagnant, the fear can really creep in. So, and the anxiety and the worry. And if you don't know what to do, just go on a walk, go to the gym, I've started doing some qigong in the mornings, and I'm waiting to wake somebody up at 6 a.m. and me jumping up and down downstairs. I haven't done it yet, but if somebody's across the street watching me, my neighbors, they're probably like, what are you doing? But I think it's important to get your energy moving around in your body, because it can bring some inspiration. It can get you out of the gutter. And I also don't underestimate the power of a chilled eye mask. Okay. Mm-hmm. Get you some eye gels and put them in the refrigerator. And if that's your little self-care thing for the day, put those things on and walk around the house and do your chores, because I was giving them out as client gifts.
Yeah, I love the ones you gave me. You gave me 2, and I was like, man, I need more of these. Where do I get them?
Amazon. I buy them in bulk. Amazon, man. Maybe I can post a link for people. Just stop by and I'll give you one. But the trick is put them in the fridge.
Yeah, that was a gold advice. That was gold advice.
Yes.
So how do you know when you are centered and balanced? What does that feel like?
Life flows a little bit easier when you're centered and balanced. Sometimes that's in brief moments. Sometimes that lasts a day, a week, a month, whatever, lifetime, hopefully. But it's a lot easier. It's a lot clearer when I feel centered, because my anxious mind isn't running me crazy. And I get a lot of reassurance from the little things that are showing up when I slow down and my monkey mind isn't chattering at me all day. When I'm feeling centered, I'm able to notice the little things that the universe is trying to say, hey girl, you're doing a good job. I need that. I need a lot of reassurance. And it's nice to feel centered. It's not going to happen every second of every day, but it's nice in those moments when you're feeling lost.
Yeah. So shout out how people can find you if they're in Greensboro and want to get their hair did,
Yes.
or just in general to follow your amazing posts, because you post some fun stuff on Instagram for sure.
Yes. I was also going to say, get off your phone if you're trying to find some peace, but like also we can't. So none of us can get off our phones. I'm pretty good about posting. I have a personal page and I also have a business page. The business page, she's a little quiet, but you're free to follow me on Instagram. I'll give you my handles to post, but it's Rabigail is my personal, and Paloma_rad is the salon, which you can book through the Instagram.
And that is at PALOMA_RAD.
Yes. Fun fact, the rad isn't like rad cool. It's my initials. So RAD. Threw that at you.
So you're rad and rad.
Yes. I'm super rad. I got married and my initials are rad. It was pretty cool. I'll take it. So you can find me on Instagram. You can also come over here. Super cool environment over in the suites. Everybody's very respectful.
It's a cute little space.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I am super grateful and happy that we got to chat today. And I love you so much.
I love you.
Thank you, dear listeners, for being here, for choosing presence, for listening with openness, and for allowing this conversation to meet you wherever you are on your path. We know you have many places you can spend your time, and we're truly grateful you chose to share this moment with us. A heartfelt thank you to Abby Delk for sharing your honesty, your courage, and your lived experience. Your willingness to move through fear, trust yourself, and grow in alignment is a powerful reminder that we don't have to have everything figured out to begin. We simply have to be willing to take the next step. Your reflections invite us to see that doing it anyway is not about perfection, but about choosing ourselves again and again in ways that support our becoming.
Ready to explore what it truly means to work with your mind, body, and energy together as an integrated system? The Be Your Soul Classroom, created by Sky Bradshaw, is an online learning space designed to support self-awareness, spiritual growth, and embodied understanding through practical, soul-centered teachings. Inside the classroom, you'll find a growing collection of online courses and offerings that explore energy awareness, intuition, personal alignment, and conscious living, each designed to meet you exactly where you are. Courses blend written lessons, video teachings, guided meditations, reflective exercises, and experiential practices, allowing you to learn in a way that feels grounded, accessible, and alive. Whether you're deepening your relationship with energy, strengthening intuition, or learning how to apply spiritual awareness to everyday life, the Be Your Soul Classroom offers both structure and spaciousness for your journey. Many courses are available on demand, so you can move at your own pace, while select offerings also include live Zoom sessions for those who enjoy learning in community and real-time connection. This is a space to return to yourself again and again, with clarity, intention, and care. Visit beyoursoul.org to explore the Be Your Soul Classroom and discover the courses that support your next season of growth.
This is an exercise I've found helpful in my practice, and maybe you will too. It's called looking at fear from all angles. Fear can often feel immediate and true, like something we should listen to without question. But as we explored in this episode, fear is not always truth. Sometimes it's shaped by past experiences, learned behaviors, or stories we've carried over time. This reflection invites you to gently step back from fear and begin to see it from a place of curiosity rather than control. Start by choosing something small, something in your life that brings up a sense of fear or hesitation. But don't go to your deepest or most overwhelming fear to start. This is about building awareness and trust one step at a time. Now, imagine placing that fear in front of you, as if it were an object sitting on the table, something you could pick up, turn around, examine. Instead of being inside the fear, you're now observing it. Begin by asking yourself, what does this fear look like from where I'm standing? What story is it telling me? Then start to turn it, just like you would a shiny object in your hands. Look at it from different angles. What happens if I view this fear from a place of distance instead of immediacy? Does it feel as solid and true, or does it begin to shift? Now go a little deeper. Who is the part of me that is feeling this fear? Is it my present self or a younger version of me that learned to respond in this way? My past trying to rear its head? Is this fear coming from truth or something I was taught, experienced, or once needed for protection? Without judgment, just simply notice. Then ask, what part of me is giving this fear its power right now? And do I want that part of me to be leading in this moment? From here, we begin to explore a different perspective. Fear often focuses on what could go wrong. So gently invite in another question. What could go right? Let yourself imagine a different outcome, not in a way that dismisses reality, but in a way that expands possibility. If fear is showing you one version of how things could unfold, gently ask yourself what other outcomes might also be available. What else could be true here? What else might be possible? And then ask, where do I have power within this situation? Even if it feels small, where can I make a choice that supports me? This is where the shift begins, because this practice is not about eliminating fear. It's about changing your relationship with it. It's about remembering that fear can exist without being in control, and that your truth, your awareness, and your ability to choose are always present alongside it. So, as you move through this week, you might carry this reflection with you. What am I believing that may not be fully true? What part of me is leading, fear or my authentic self? And what becomes possible when I allow myself to look at things from a different angle? Because every time you pause, reflect, and reconnect from a place of truth rather than fear, you reclaim your power. You strengthen your trust in yourself, not as something fragile, but as something steady and reliable. And from that place, you don't just face hard things. You move through them with intention, clarity, and courage, stepping more fully into who you authentically are. May you be well. May you feel whole. May you be blessed. And may you feel peace. And may you always be your soul.
If something in today's episode spoke to your soul, you don't have to stop here. This exercise will be shared free for all subscribers on Substack, where you'll have a written version you can return to, something to sit with, reflect on, and work into your daily practice. You can also explore more offerings, reflections, and episodes by visiting beyoursoul.org, where you'll find a wide circle of support. Love Church, our free Sunday gathering streaming live every second and fourth Sunday. The Be Your Soul Classroom, full of self-paced courses, guided journals, and healing tools. Our YouTube channel, home to meditations, interviews, and spirit-led support you can revisit anytime. And of course, all past podcast episodes, ready when you need a message, reminder, or a little reconnection. Everything we create is rooted in one mission. When the one is strengthened, the sum is strengthened.